So I got convicted of conspiracy to traffic and illegal drugs, conspiracy to traffic. I got convicted of conspiracy to traffic and illegal drugs, 15 grams or more. I got convicted of conspiracy to commit RICO. I got hit with the RICO violation. Conspiracy to traffic and illegal drugs. What was it, 35 kilos or more? And they was crazy charges, man, crazy charges.
All right, good afternoon. This is State of Florida versus Stephen Testo with multiple cases before the court.
Yo, what's poppin', man? It's your boy the King, and this is the Incarceration podcast, where I talk about prison, pre, post, and present, and how everything that I experienced throughout my incarceration has forever changed my life. This is the Incarceration. So Forever Convict family, once again, we are on the journey to 50,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so now. Share. My dog, Big Lou, what's going on, Brody? First of all, man, welcome to the Incarceration podcast. And we're going to go ahead and just immediately jump into your story, man. So for the viewers who don't know who you are, just go ahead and introduce yourself and just begin to share with us your story of incarceration, but by beginning just with your childhood and your upbringing and what your early years of life was like.
First off, man, it's an honor to be at this podcast, man. You know what I'm saying? Because doing prison ministry, a lot of people, a lot of the brothers inside inside the prison, they already know about what you got going on, man. And I just want to say that it's truly an honor and a privilege to be here with you, man, doing this thing with you, bro.
For sure, bro. The honor's mine, my G. So let's go ahead and get in your story, dog.
But let me tell you something, man. So, my upbringing was good. You know what I'm saying? It was, my upbringing was, family there. Parents always been there. Growing up, I boxed as a kid. You know what I'm saying? And I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Y'all could tell by the hat. You know what I'm saying? So, coming up, my father was an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? Just for some reason, the streets always, just was calling me. But at the age of 15, I started boxing in Brooklyn, and it was good. I definitely wanted to go further in it, man. But hanging out was probably my priority. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, my upbringing was legit. But I started going sideways when high school hit. You know what I'm saying? Started smoking herb at a young age. Beers, you know what I'm saying? Drinking 40s and brown bags in New York, man, putting it in the snow. My upbringing was good, but then the street started calling me. So, it was I don't regret none of the things that I went through as a young kid, you know what I'm saying? And as a teenager, like I said, man, was into the girls, was into just the streets, man, hanging out, smoking weed, drinking beers, and the street life, you know what I'm saying, at a young age. But I can always tell you this, I always had a heart to help, you know what I mean? I always had a heart to help people. But at the same time, I was still doing my thing, you know what I mean? And decisions were made, never regretted it, and I still live that way, man, you know what I'm saying?
That's real. So during that time, especially like the teenage years when you're smoking and drinking, when did like the real serious illegal activity begin? What was it, robbing, selling drugs? What happened, and at what age was it, and how did that lead to your first arrest?
Well, never got caught, you know what I'm saying? I never got caught, although, did sell drugs in the streets of Brooklyn. Never got caught, didn't put myself in position to get caught, but at the same time, I knew what I was doing was wrong, but at the same time, it was something like, you gotta be extra careful, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't be greedy. I knew a lot of people in Brooklyn that were greedy, man, like, you know what I'm saying, getting that money fast, but, in anything, you gotta take your time with it. So we started wilding out, man, right there in 51st Street and 6th Avenue in Brooklyn. And, we was just hanging out, man, and just doing what we do, man, as kids, man, as young adults, you know what I'm saying? But we were slick, you know what I'm saying? We thankfully, you know, we never got caught in our mess, you know, but you know, we just kept grinding and just kept working it. So in 1998, man, I got kind of tired of that lifestyle, and my parents had moved down to Florida prior to that, you know what I'm saying? And in 97, you know, they moved down in 1997 over here in Tampa. So in 1997, of Christmas of 97, we came down, my wife and I with our 2 kids, we came down and we kind of was captivated by Florida, you know what I mean? It was like a whole different vibe, man. Like, if anybody knows about New York, you know, I never ate at a beach before, you know what I'm saying? Like, I never ate at a restaurant in the beach, but, you know, we went to Clearwater, we ate, man, and that kind of captivated me, man. So, you know, we made the decision of moving to Florida in 98, and that's what we did, man. That's what we did. But the only thing is, you know, in 98 when we moved down, I kind of got into it with a couple of cousins that I had, you know what I'm saying? So I never knew I had cousins in Florida, you know, so they was already in the game, you know, and they started doing their thing. They was doing their thing for a minute. So I kind of like, you know, wanted to get into it too, man. So, you know, we started hustling together, man. And next thing you know, man, some dude gets caught with a couple of grams of heroin, you know what I mean? And turned state on every one of us, man. You know that. So I got caught, let me see, I got arrested in February of 2000. So I didn't even last not even 2 years in the streets. I think it was like 18 months in the streets of Florida, you know, and I got hit with some crazy charges, man. Conspiracy to traffic in illegal drugs. I got hit with a RICO charge, man, conspiracy to commit RICO, traffic in illegal drugs, 15 grams or more, you know, and, you know, they don't play about heroin, you know what I'm saying? So we went, you know, we started, you know, just doing our thing, and we went to jail, and next thing you know, we looking at a gang of time, all of us, you know, and through the whole court process and everything, man, they talking about 25 years, and, you know, unfortunately, you know, I got the 25, and the rest is history, man. You know what I'm saying?
How old were you when you were sentenced to 25 years?
Man, I was going on 29 years old. 29 years old, man.
And what were the charges you were convicted of?
So I got convicted of conspiracy to traffic in illegal drugs, conspiracy to traffic. I got convicted of conspiracy to traffic in illegal drugs, 15 grams or more. I got convicted of conspiracy to commit RICO. I got hit with the RICO violation. Conspiracy to traffic in illegal drugs. What was it, 35 kilos or more? And it you know, they was crazy charges, man, crazy charges.
So being 29, this is your first time being arrested?
Actually my second time.
Okay. What was, just real quick, what was the first time being arrested? How old were
So
you?
the first time being arrested, it was we went up to North New York. Like we was driving to New York, man, to go spend some time with, you know, with some boys and stuff like that, because we was going to a college, Sullivan, I want to say it was Sullivan County College, and we driving up there, and on the highway, you know, we passing blunts from car to car, man, doing 70, 75, you know what I'm saying? We're passing blunts, and we were speeding. We get pulled over, and it so happens that the car that I was in, it was chopped up. You know what I'm saying? Chopped up meaning the VIN numbers were changed, and you know, that's how they do it in New York. Like, you know, you steal a car, you change the VIN numbers, and that's your car. So we all ended up, about 4 of us ended up in jail, man, for the whole weekend. And obviously they dropped the charges, they let us go. They didn't, you know, they didn't convict us of nothing, praise God. But then, you know, that was the first time I went experience being locked up, you know?
Okay, so now at 29, being
Man.
sentenced to 25 years, man, how did that feel, man? Walk the viewer through. I'm assuming you took a plea, or did you lose trial?
Well, on the day of trial, I was taking it to the door. You know what I'm saying? I was taking it to the door. I wasn't copping out to nothing. But I knew what I was facing. You know what I'm saying? Because my lawyer really wasn't, I had a private attorney, but he really wasn't doing nothing for me. And I guess, you know, he just wanted to take the easy way out. You know what I'm saying? So they offered me the 25 and I wanted to go to the door with it, but you know, now they try to hit you with the boo game, you know what I mean? They tell you, man, you got convicted, you're gonna get life and all this and all that. So, you know, I started putting two and two together, man. And I went and I looked at my family. I had my clothes ready to go through to the door with it, bro, you know what I mean? And I had my family right there, man. And, you know, when they started saying, cause you know, when you traffic in illegal drugs, especially heroin, that's a first degree felony, man. And, you know, you could get 30 years or more, you know? And I guess, you know, my people talked sense to me, man. And like I said, I wanted to take it to the door, man. But, you know, I went and I copped out to the 25. You know, now in those days, it was day for day. It was a minimum mandatory sentence because of my trafficking charges. You know, but at 29 years old, man, getting sentenced to 25 years in prison. Now, mind you, if they didn't change the sentencing guidelines in 2006, I probably would have got out next year. You know what I mean? But since they changed the guidelines for a mandatory minimum on a non-violent offense, I got out after 21. But man, I was scared, bro. Like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Took the time. I got to do it like a man, you know, with my head held up high, man. But at the same time, man, it was rough, man. Knowing I had a wife and kids out there, you know what I'm saying, waiting for me. But yeah, it was no joke, man. It was no joke.
How did it feel, like taking a 25 in the courtroom and then going back to the county jail, going back to the holding cell? Like, what was on your mind? What was your emotions? Like, how did it feel?
Man, bro, I remember that day like if it was yesterday, man. It was a feeling like all hell broke loose, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought my career as a husband and as a father, I thought I lost it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't, cause I got saved in the county jail, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, it was a feeling like I was disappointed, man. Like I knew I was gonna get out of this. I knew that, you know, victory was mine. I knew it without a shadow of a doubt, man. But going back to the county jail, man, with a 25-year mandatory sentence, man, it was something that was just crazy, man. Like I wouldn't want to visit that part of that circumstance, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to visit that circumstance, but it was devastating, bro. It was like my emotions were like running high and low at the same time, you know what I mean? Like it was crazy, but I knew I got sentenced. It is what it is. I got to man up. I got to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Yeah.
I appreciate you for sharing that, bro. All right, so now let's get into the prison stories, man. So, man, let's start with that first day in prison, bro. From the county jail going to prison. How was that first day? The bus ride, intake? What happened, man?
Bro, first day. How about, like, when they was rounding us up in the county, man? You remember that? When they was rounding us up in the county, man, going to Orlando, OCI. Man, listen, man, you know, first, you know, they round you up in the county jail, going to prison. You already know that the county jails are cold. You know what I'm saying? So you're already kind of shaking a little bit, man, because it's cold in the county. But, bro, You got to do the thing. You got to strip and all this and all that just to get on the bus. You get shackled. You're walking like you can hardly walk, you know what I mean? And that's the first time I ever been on a Bluebird, man. Yo, and when I tell you, it smelled like piss in that bus, bro, straight up. Because, you know, the Bluebirds got the toilets in the back of the bus, man, but the stench was bad. I'm like, man, boy. So the bus ride was crazy, bro. We was packed in there like sardines, bro. They 2 per seat, man, and you know, barely fit 2 people, man. You know what I'm saying, on a seat, man. But the bus ride was not good, man, because now your mind is racing. You know what I mean? Your mind is going in all different types of directions, man, and what you're gonna expect in prison. Somebody try you, you gotta defend yourself. You know, being a man of God, are you gonna turn to give them the other cheek as well? And it's so many things that be running through a person's mind when, you know, on their way to prison, because you don't know what to expect. You know what I mean? The bus ride sucked. I'm just keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? Then when we got to OCI, you know, you got to go through the process of them calling your names. You get stripped. You got to do all the bend over and cough and all this and all that, man. You know, and then not only that, but, you know, you go into a holding cell, right? And in this holding cell, they got a big sign right there. Be quiet. You know what I mean? Like, don't say a word, bro. If you got homeboys with you, listen, don't talk to me. Don't say a word, man. I don't want to hear nothing. My co-defendant is right next to me, man. And it's only us 2 in this holding cell, bro. My co-defendant running his mouth. He's talking. And I'm looking straight at Sarge. You know, Sarge was like my size, but fatter, yo. Like they say he was a security guard for the Orlando Magic, yo. You know what I'm saying? So I'm staring at him because his desk is behind a plastic window outside of the holding cell, and I could see him steady looking at us, right? Co-defendant still talking. You know what I mean? I hit him in his knee with my leg, and I point to the sign, and he's still running his mouth. Yo, when Sarge looked up and caught my co-defendant, he got up. Like I don't know how he made it that fast to my co-defendant, but he went up to my co-defendant and slapped the taste out his mouth. Like, what that son say? Boom! Like, I felt it, dude. You feel me? Like, I was sitting right next to my co-defendant, and just the power of the slap, bro, I was like, okay, I see how this is gonna be, man. From then on, bro, I knew, you know, a lot of the COs was gonna, you know, kind of crazy a little bit, you feel me? But after that slap my co-defendant got, bro, he ain't talked no more after that, man, you feel me? It was crazy, man, it was crazy. It's crazy.
So how was the transition at reception and then to your first like permanent prison? You know, as far as like what was some of the, I guess, the learning curves or just your adjustment navigating throughout prison life, and how was your adjustment into your permanent prison? Where'd you go?
You know, when you get to OCI, you become a transit, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you get issued your blues, you know, you go through the process of classification, you go through medical, you go through all of that, right? But the transition from being a transit to your permanent camp, anybody who's in transit just wants to get to their permanent camp, you know what I mean? So that they can settle down, do what they gotta do, you know, get paperwork in to receive Vizzo, to get canteen and all of that, man. And, you know, the transition from being a transit to my permanent camp, it probably was about a month I had to wait, you know what I mean, in those times. But the actual transition was quick, man. Was like, boom, okay, I'm at my permanent. My first camp was Madison CI. I'm like 5 hours from the crib. It's like your first camp, they send you to the furthest away from the crib, man, you know what I mean? And went to Madison, man, and, you know, got involved with some good Christian brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? Some good brothers in Christ, and you know, formed a lot of relationships, built a lot of relationships in there. You know, it was the transition was a lot better than being in OCI. You know what I mean? Because when you go to your permanent camp, this is what you're doing. They give you a job, and you just take off from there, man. You know, the transition was fast, man, because if you have a mindset of wanting to do better, the transition is definitely going to be easier for you, man, for sure.
That's real. What was your everyday schedule like in prison? Like whenever you began to settle in, especially at your permanent prison and institution, what was like your everyday prison schedule? You know, how did your days look in prison? Share this channel with somebody who hasn't. And listen, if you've done any time, I'm talking about a county jail, state penitentiary, federal, or even drug programs, whatever. If you want to share your story on this channel, go ahead and email me at eithekingbooking. Go ahead and put your stories in the comments below. If there's anything that I talked about slightly, you want me to go more in depth on, or anything I haven't talked about at all, and it's a good idea, drop it in the comments, let me know. And also remember, I am a rapper. My artist name is E.I. the King. You can find my music on all platforms. I also have another channel, YouTube channel, my official artist channel, E.I. the King. And I also have another podcast. It's called Let Me Talk Bro, where I talk more so about my life, music, ministry, and all these things. Also, I have a Patreon with exclusive content. Everything is in the description below. So listen, man, till the next time, it's your boy, E.I. the King.